Well, hello, you gorgeous mother truckers, you. Look at this sun. Hey, look at this sun. Yesterday, it was Forsyth gale. Well, I wouldn't say Forsyth gale. It was slightly breezy and it rained a lot. But the next day, oh, the sun's out. It's just, to live in England during, well, I suppose it's the winter. I mean, I'll be honest, it's a bit mild. But I'm loving it. I'm all for the milder winters myself. I'd rather be like this all the time. Any case, let's get to the actual core of the video, which of course is, because again, it's that time of year, and we've started again. As in, we've got a flu epidemic here in the United Kingdom, apparently. Hospitals here in the Midlands, critical alert. Which, by the way, this morning they're all back to only a couple hours wait. So that's a bullshittery of the highest order. And of course, out they come again. Well, you know, if you're not feeling too, you should be wearing masks. We need to wear a mask when you go to the doctors. Fucking fat chance of ever going to see a doctor. But in any case, you know, out comes that you need to be wearing masks and you need to get vaccinated. Right, okay, again. Let's just pause, stop, rewind a moment. On the news last night, they were reporting, the NHS reporting, that the flu season has started earlier this year. It's here way earlier than it should be, to be fair. And they don't understand why. Well, you see, the thing is, this year, they started the vaccinations earlier than normal. So we've actually started our vaccinations about a month earlier than we normally do. So imagine my shock, surprise and horror when all of a sudden there's a massive increase of flu cases, which have started earlier than normal. Right, so we vaccinate everyone earlier than normal, and the flu gets here earlier than normal. No, stop it, Gobster. You're being a conspiracy theorist. There's no way you could possibly link the two together. No, you're being insane. Stop it. Well, you see, the problem is I'm on my way to pick my little one up from school. Now, a couple of weeks, no, was it last week? The week before, they all had their nasal sprays for the flu. Well, my daughter didn't, because I went, you don't need it. She doesn't. So her and a couple others in her class, I think it was about 5 in total, didn't actually go and have the nasal spray. Fast forward, this was on the Monday, the Friday before. Fast forward to the next Friday, which was last Friday, and she comes home and says, we've had a very interesting day at school today because there are loads of kids off. Oh, really? Yeah, loads of them, Dad. Loads of them are off ill. Ill with what? Oh, sickness, Dad. So much so that they've had to merge 3 classes together to make 1 class. Right, I said. So, sickness it is indeed. Yes, Dad. You know, people are off with a sickness bug. Oh, okay. No mention of flu, of course. They're off with a sickness bug. Okay, so we're off with a sickness bug. Yep, Dad, that's what they're doing. They're off with a sickness bug. Lots of them. A week after the nasal spray thing. Yes, Dad. Okay, thanks. Well, you see, when you look into the side effects of the nasal spray, one of them is sickness. And the only 5 in her class that weren't off were the 5 who did not have the nasal spray. No, stop it, Gobster. You're being a bit of a conspiracy theorist here. So, normally, if it's like, because this is the time of year we normally get like a norovirus go round. Kids get sick and that. And normally there's a letter, comes out, or an email, or a notification, depending on how they do it, from the school talking about this sickness bug. There's a sickness bug going around, you know, blah, 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 symptoms if they're sure this, don't go to school. Except this time, nothing. You could actually see the tumbleweeds roll across the communications boards. Nothing has been said about this at all. at one stage, at least half of the school were off. Weirdness. Now, call me a conspiracy theorist if you like. I had all this crap during COVID, but this all looks a bit odd and strange, don't you think? That we decided at the beginning of September, which is early, to vaccinate against the flu, and then we have an earlier than normal rise in apparently critical flu cases. My daughter's school, they have the nasal spray, and the following week, half the school are off with a sickness bug that no one mentions. Because normally if it's a norovirus, they say, oh, you know, here we go again, parents, the usual thing, it's the norovirus bugs spreading through school. You get anything. And the only people who haven't been ill and have been there all the time are the ones who didn't have the nasal spray. We also had, as last night, it was all over the local news that our local hospitals, so we've got Good Hope, Queen Elizabeth, and Heartlands hospitals. They're the ones with the A&E departments. We have got Solihull Hospital, but it hasn't got an A&E department because why would we want another hospital in an A&E department? And all three of these hospitals have announced a critical issue because of the massive influx of flu cases. Yet today, just before I left, and the time is now 14:51 hours, at 1400 hours, at all three hospitals, the wait was around about an hour, hour and a half. So this sudden surge of critical urgency only worked yesterday. And today, there isn't a problem because that's how epidemics work, isn't it? Also remember that usually we have a flu epidemic, except during the COVID years where flu and colds disappeared. We only had COVID, which was, let's be brutally honest, flu rebranded. We always get large amount of cases in the UK of people having flu. Now, somebody went and did the classic. I love it when people do this. Well, you see, the problem is, I'll explain it to you. The version of the flu they got now, they have to guess which flu's going to be the worst. And they vaccinate against the 3 or 4 most virulent, I said that well at this time of the afternoon, form of flu. Except they didn't get this one. This one's a different one. Right. So it's very important that you go and get vaccinated. So you want me to go and get vaccinated against the flu virus that you've told me that they're not vaccinating me against. So why am I getting the vaccine? It also, and I'm going to get called everything under the sun by some people, but it is what it is. I'm just asking the question, is how since before COVID, not far before COVID, but definitely after COVID, have we had a sudden surge in flu vaccinations and then a sudden surge in flu illnesses? Because the whole point of a vaccine, a proper vaccine, is it actually gives you a small amount of the actual virus. This goes into your body. The body recognises it as, oh, that's right. So when you do get the flu, it knows what it's looking for and goes and deals with it. So instead of getting a serious flu, you get a bit of a cold. That's how vaccines work. Not the new ones. And the new flu vaccines, by the way, are mRNA ones, just like COVID. Yeah. They don't do that. They just genetically re-engineer your DNA to deal with it. But I'm a conspiracy theorist. I know. I mean, I've been a conspiracy theorist now for a fair few years. And the amount of times that people go, especially Mrs. Jill, go, but you said about that and you were right. And you see, like many of you, and there are lots of you, can actually see these things coming. I mean, it's like we were talking about electric cars and Mrs. G went, oh, you said when the surge in electric cars came that they would end up paying tax and probably get paid per mile. Yeah, because you could see it coming a mile off. It wasn't hard. It really wasn't. It's just that you cannot deny, by just looking at the data, that we started our vaccinations early and now we've got a surge in cases early. My daughter's school had nasal vaccines, and then the next week, half the school was off with sickness, which is a side effect of the nasal sprays. Again, we're having yet another engineered illness, another engineered crisis, one would say. And we banged on about how the hospitals were collapsing under the pressure, except, of course, the following day, they're not. Here we go again. Except the problem is this time is it isn't going to work because people aren't going to fall for it twice. The sheep will. The sheep, and they're still there now. Yeah, but meh. No. So if you say you got to wear a mask, no, I'm not going to. You see, I've even had a comment on X when I was talking about this, and he actually turned around and said, well, at my one of his goddaughter's schools, they don't do the vaccine, and they've had just 15 kids off. Yeah, another one of his grandchildren, they vaccinated most of the school, and half of the school were off with sickness. And just before I bring this one to a close, just to let you know, of course, the lunatics are out. Oh, well, we've got this very disastrous flu virus going, and what's going to happen? Oh, no, we're going to have all these school nativities and that. You need to ban them. Oh, jog on. We all can see what it is. It's all more bullshittery. It's more lies, more manufactured bullshit. Completely and utterly. And in my mind, remember, this is my opinion, not everybody else's, but in my mind, linked to the vaccinations. It's just too coincidental. In fact, there are no such thing as coincidence. It is something that's there by design. Guest star, dad going to pick his kid up. I'll pay him later. Any case, enough of that. Ways to support the channel down below. If you like what I'm doing, agree with what I'm saying, hit that subscribe button, ding the magic bell, select it to all so YouTube could just ignore you and not tell you I've done one, because you can't have people talking videos like this and getting them out to more and more people because, yeah, misinformation, I guess. You can like, you can share, you can comment. If your comment gets deleted and you still need to talk to me, pop it up on the screen right now. Do it now. Do it now. He's ghosttalks at yahoo.com. There is no bathroom. Sorry. Oh, yeah. If you can't laugh at yourself, you can email me there in the strictest of confidence. And that's it. I'm done. I will catch you in the next one. I'll be back. Sorry.